Sometimes you just have to do what works and use a little trick that you can. One thing I'm really happy I bought about half a year ago was these small portable LED lights because I can adjust the color temperature and they're true to live colors, but they make it so much easier when I have to show roses for you guys because I can control where the shadows land when using these lights, right? And here during evening time, of course, I could bring in a big light, but that's going to take some time. So just moving these portable lights around and kind of placing them opposite of each other has actually worked quite well. I might even get a third one to place behind when I'm doing lighting shoots. But I also have some studio lights and all that stuff, so I actually don't know if I need the third one. But I think I actually want to get a third one, because then I can kind of complete the setup. It is a bit more dramatic in the shadows when you only have two, but it is so much better compared to just these regular lamps, right? Because they barely provide any light. But here we have some different roses. We of course have Gentle Hermione from yesterday. It's just so gorgeous, so gorgeous. This one is actually really growing on me, It's kind of like I've been putting my nose a lot into it since yesterday, and I'm convinced that this one right now is at least an 8 out of 10. While some of the other myrrh scents are more like sweet licorice, this one is more like salt licorice, if that makes sense. But it is a really gorgeous myrrh scent, and I just can't resist it after it has opened more in the center. It is just so gorgeous, right? Maybe move the light a little bit so you guys can see it a little better in different lighting positions. But just a gorgeous rose, that one. I'm not sure about leaf health yet. It has survived the -20 winter, and the leaf health so far has been without black spot or rust, but I've also been treating my roses really well, so we'll see how it holds up during the late season, right? Because right now I have only good things to say about it. Maybe it is a bit long in the stem. I don't know if it is related to Sceptred Isle in any way. I think it is either Sceptred Isle or Woolton Old Hall that has to be the parent to this one. But so far I have only positive things to say about Gentle Hermione. But it is a very young rose in my garden. To put it into perspective, what produced this bloom was only a 1 year rose, this year. But here we have James L. Austin with a smaller bloom. It was the one in flower at the moment. And then we have Tranquility at the back here. Again, a small flower from Tranquility. We have a Vanessa Bell, and we have a Crown Prince Margrethe. Here, Vanessa Bell there, Crown Prince Margrethe there. Then we have Camina here, the Vestiges rose, and then we have Eeuwige Passie, also a Vestiges rose. So those are really gorgeous also. So let's dive into some different roses, and let's start out with James L. Austin here. Yeah, it's not giving me much on fragrance. Maybe some tea notes and a little bit of Gallica notes. But honestly, this one is at max a 5, I would say. At max a 5. I don't see this one going any higher than around there. It is a beautiful color though, but it's stuck somewhere in the 5 to 6 range in my opinion. Then you have Tranquility here. Tranquility is a rose that doesn't develop much fragrance the first few years, but as this one is in its 5th year now, so it is starting to develop a myrrh scent to it. Let's have a whiff. Oh yeah, just the faintest myrrh scent. Usually the myrrh scent is somewhere around, I would say a 5. As it gets older, it's not the strongest on the myrrh scent. Right now it's certainly around a 5, but it is a pleasant myrrh scent, nothing wrong with it, so I view it as an extra bonus. But that said, I'm not completely won over by Tranquility like some. I still believe that Desdemona is the better White Austin, really. But that said, I'm not completely crazy about White Austins. They've never really stood out to me compared to some of the French ones. Here we have Vanessa Bell. I think it got a bit squeezed on the side here as it was laying down before I put them into a vase. But let's have a whiff of Vanessa Bell and just look at that kind of, I would say kind of this lemon color, right? This custard color it has. Really gorgeous rose. It's like this mix of white and yellow. What I really like about it is this blousy quality it has to it. It has this wedding rose quality in my opinion, because it looks so loose in the petals, so see-through. Really like it. Let's have a whiff. Yeah, it is giving these floral tea notes between 5 to 6. It is not really a truly fragrant rose, but the gorgeous look of it, and also how much it reflowers and how many blooms it can put out, is really why it's still in my garden. And it does have these, if I have a leaf on it, it does have these kind of lime colored leaves to it. And that is not a mistake, it simply does that naturally. And here we have our Camellia and Eeuwige. And let's have a look at those two. Eeuwige is so gorgeous, right? Just as big as something like, maybe even bigger than Gentle Hermione. Massive bloom, right? It is, I would say, around 8 to 9 centimeters across. But compared to how many it can put out of these, it's absolutely amazing when you consider the fragrance on Camellia also. Let's have a whiff. Oh yeah. I am in love with that rose. It was a rose I was already starting to be in love with last year, but because the flowers drooped and because you had a little bit of powdery mildew, I kind of kept my enthusiasm a little bit on the down low. But this year, with most of those problems kind of out of the way and the fragrance just stepping up a little bit, and everything about the health and everything else stepping up a little bit, this is honestly shaping up to be one of the most promising roses of my garden right now. Just look at that. I don't know if we bring it over to the light here, you guys can better see it, but just gorgeous. I also like how the petals kind of curl in the middle, right, around each other. Very, very gorgeous rose, and I wish I could give you guys the fragrance to scent, but it is so fragrant, this one. A nice little rose from Belgium. A nice little rose from Belgium. And of course it has its sibling, and its sibling is Eeuwige Passie. And I have been a little bit tough on this rose. It is because I don't like it as much as Camellia. But I do like how it kind of has slightly more color in the way the petals curl. I just find it to not put out as many blooms as Camellia, and also not to be as nice in the shrub forming habit of it. But let's have a whiff here. Right now it's giving me kind of like an apricot and damask note, but it is definitely not as strong as Camellia. Let me just go back and have a whiff of Camellia again. Oh yeah, this is much more refined. I would say this one is 8.5 and this one is 7.5 right now. And I also think the flower is a little bit smaller on Eeuwige Passie. But honestly, it's not a bad rose at all, because it is still more fragrant than James L. Austin, than Tranquility, than Vanessa Bell, right? And than all the others here, right? Maybe, I don't know, is it more fragrant than Crown Princess Margrethe? I nearly forgot about that one. I really like those. That blush effect Crown Princess Margrethe has at the middle there. Let's have a whiff. Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like the intensity might be a little bit higher on Eeuwige Passie than Crown Prince Margrethe, but I feel like Crown Prince Margrethe has some really beautiful tea notes mixed in with the fruit notes. But yeah, it's a tough one. This one is a little bit more on the intensity and this one is a little more refined. Both really gorgeous, but the winner for me has to be Camellia here. And what about over here? Let's have a whiff of Gentle Hermione again. Now it's fully opened. Honestly, that bloom there, that bloom. I really hope it has the leaf health and it has everything else going for it, because I'm starting to fall in love with that bloom. I don't know if you guys can see that bloom. How gorgeous it is with this blush effect in the middle. It kind of reminds me, you guys know Earth Angel, right? A horrible rose on rain resistance. And it also has that kind of blush effect at the center, that pink blush effect, but this one is gorgeous. Oh yeah, it is a good myrrh. Like, the myrrh is not the most consistent because it can give me anything between 7.5 up to 8 on the myrrh, but honestly this is a gorgeous, gorgeous myrrh scented rose. I wasn't sure I would like it as much as I do, but if I keep liking it this much, I might have to get more of it. But I'm a little bit curious about, I haven't noticed any rain damage, but these flowers are so soft in the petals and there's so many of them. So I really also want to test this one for rain resistance, because that is a real issue with something like Earth Angel, right? So I really want to test that on this one also. So this one is definitely approved on the flower, on the fragrance and all that, but I just want to notice everything about the health and see if the health lives up to what I expect from a rose. I already know that Camellia has passed the test. In year second, all the health issues were gone and it was just amazing. So I can already recommend Camellia fully. Just don't expect a lot from it in year one, but in year two, it's absolutely amazing, that one. But yeah, guys, which of these roses am I most likely to keep in my garden and which am I most likely to throw out? Well, the ones I'm most likely to keep here is Camellia and maybe also Gentle Hermione. The ones I'm most likely to throw out is probably James L. Austin. Don't get me wrong, it flowers a lot and it has a beautiful color, but I feel after things like Ludatio and a lot of others of these more deep, these more purple tones, magenta purple tones, I feel like the fact it doesn't have much fragrance kind of lets it down a little bit when there's starting to be purple roses that has a lot of fragrance, right? And I also feel like Tranquility, it has never really been that special to me, to be honest with you, because it lacks the fragrance. And I think right now one of my favorite white roses, I think actually right now is a competition between White Perfume de Provence and Epurna and Pope Jean Paul II. But I'll make a video about white roses maybe in a month or two. I need most of them in bloom, right? So I'm also absolutely in love with Crown Princess Margrethe. It's not always the strongest on the fragrance, but it's certainly very refined in the fragrance. And when you have so many of these blooms against the wall, it just looks gorgeous because they kind of unfold and they just look gorgeous, right? And Vanessa was one of my first favorite Austins, and it still looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks like nothing else really, and nothing else really in the color and the way the petals behave. I just wish it had a bit more fragrance, of course. But yeah, Camellia, probably one of my favorites here on fragrance. It will have to be either Camellia or this one, Gentle Hermione. Oh, it is a tough one. I'm sometimes a sucker for the myrrh scents, right? I am Scandinavian after all, but this one is also Honestly, I can't choose between damask and myrrh, especially when this one also has so many other notes in it. But really gorgeous roses, all of them. And I can't recommend, if you have the opportunity to buy this Belgium rose by Viziers or Wizards, or call it what you want. I really think this is an excellent rose. And I also got some more of his roses coming up soon, and they're doing so wonderful out in the garden, maybe except a few. I wouldn't say Eeuwige Passie is a must buy. Maybe if you fall really in love with Camellia, it is a worthwhile rose. It does have a little more interesting color maybe, but smaller blooms, smaller fragrance, not as many blooms, and not as nice of a bushy growth in my opinion. So, but yeah guys, take care out there.